Hey everyone, today we're jumping into one of the most practical books of the ancient world, the Book of Proverbs. Now, you should think of it less like a dusty old rulebook and more like a masterclass in the art of living. It's a guide to living a life that's not just good, but skillful and full of purpose. So, let's see what it has to say.
I mean, it's a totally fair question, right? We've got life hacks and self-help gurus coming out of our ears. So what could a bunch of ancient Hebrew sayings possibly have to offer us now? Well, as we're about to find out, its insights into who we are, how we relate to each other, and what we're here for are incredibly and maybe even shockingly relevant.
And really, the best way to wrap your head around this book is to see it as a journey. It's not just giving you information, it's inviting you to walk a path that has a clear starting point, a really crucial choice you have to make, and a definite destination. So why don't we start walking that path together?
Okay, so every journey has a destination, and for Proverbs, that big goal is wisdom. But before we can even think about chasing it, we have to know what it is. And I'm telling you, it's probably not what you think.
The Hebrew word they use is ḥokmah. And ḥokmah isn't about having a genius IQ or being great at trivia. It's about skill. It's the practical, hands-on ability to navigate life well, to make good decisions, and to live in sync with how the world was actually designed to work. Proverbs chapter 1 says wisdom is about knowing wisdom and instruction and discerning the words of understanding. It's street smarts for the soul.
And here's the thing you have to get right from the start. According to Proverbs, the skillful way of living, it's not something we just figure out on our own. We don't invent it, we don't generate it from within. It's a gift. Its ultimate source is God. So, if God is the source, how do we get it? Well, the book couldn't be more clear. It all begins with the fear of the Lord. Now, this isn't about being terrified of God. It's about a deep, profound sense of awe and respect. It's about taking God seriously, understanding who he is, and trusting that his way is best. Proverbs 1:7 calls it the beginning of knowledge, and chapter 9 calls it the beginning of wisdom. This, right here, is the starting line for our whole journey.
All right, so we're at the starting line. We understand the foundation. And right away, Proverbs puts a massive choice in front of us. There are no secret shortcuts or third options here. The book lays out two and only two possible paths for your life.
On one side, you've got the path of wisdom. This is the path that leads to life, to flourishing, to safety. It's described as a bright, straight road. And on the other side, you have the path of folly. This is the way of doing your own thing, of ignoring reality, and its destination is always destruction, shame, and death. It's a dark, crooked road. Every single choice you make is basically a step down one of these two paths. I love this verse because it just perfectly captures the momentum you get on the wise path. See, it's not like you just decide to be wise and boom, you're there. No, it's a progressive journey. The wise choice you make today actually makes the path clearer and brighter for your choices tomorrow. It builds on itself, growing and growing toward fullness and life. It's beautiful. Okay, so we've laid the foundation, we've chosen our path, but what does it actually look like to walk this path on, a Tuesday afternoon? This is where Proverbs gets super practical and gets into the nitty-gritty of our actual everyday lives. So let's start with relationships. Proverbs tells us, hey, choose your friends carefully. Chapter 13, verse 20 says, whoever walks with the wise becomes wise. Your friends literally shape who you become. It calls for loyalty, for honesty. And inside the family, it talks about a love that's expressed through discipline and about the honor that children give to their parents. Basically, wisdom is the glue for healthy relationships. You've probably heard this one before. It's one of the most famous lines in the whole book. And it perfectly sums up what wise friendships are all about. We're supposed to make each other better, sharper, more effective people. A truly wise friend doesn't just tell you what you want to hear. They challenge you, they hold you accountable, and they genuinely help you grow. Okay, next up are words. Proverbs 18 makes this absolutely incredible claim that death and life are in the power of the tongue. Just let that sink in for a second. The words we use can literally build people up or tear them down. So wisdom means speaking with gentleness. It means refusing to gossip. And this is a big one. It means being quick to listen and slow to speak. And of course, Proverbs has a ton to say about work and money. It is all for hard work and diligence, warning that laziness is a path to poverty. But it's about so much more than just getting rich. It's about stewardship, about honoring God with what you have. And it's about being radically generous to people in need.
As chapter 11 says, a generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. So we've been walking the path, trying to apply this wisdom to our relationships, our words, our work. But the journey isn't over. The Book of Proverbs has been pointing us towards a final destination this whole time, a kind of ultimate fulfillment of everything it's been talking about. Yeah, as you read the book, you start to get this sense that it's not just a random collection of tips. Especially in those early chapters, wisdom gets personified as a woman, Lady Wisdom, and she's out in the streets, calling to people, offering life. It's like the book is building a character sketch of a perfect, ultimate, personal form of wisdom.
And this is where the whole story finds its mind-blowing climax. Centuries after Proverbs was written, the Apostle Paul makes this stunning connection. He points to a person, Jesus Christ, and he says, that is the wisdom of God. All the skill, all the truth, all the life that Proverbs was gesturing towards, Paul says it's all perfectly embodied in him.
So the most crucial point is this. According to this worldview, the goal of the Book of Proverbs isn't just to learn a what, but to meet a who. The journey of wisdom doesn't end when you've mastered a checklist of principles. It ends in a relationship with a person who is the perfect embodiment of God's wisdom.
So there you have it. That's our whole journey in a nutshell. We start with a foundational awe for God. Then we come to a fork in the road, and we have to choose the path of wisdom over folly. Then we walk that path out every day, applying that wisdom to our lives. And finally, we discover that the whole path was leading us to a person, Jesus, the wisdom of God.
And that really leaves us with one last thing to chew on. If the pursuit of a skillful, meaningful life is ultimately about knowing a person and not just mastering a set of principles, well, how does that change the way we go about it? How does it change our motivation, our goals, or daily choices? It's definitely something to think about.